If these cars have engine issues, I'm not gonna spend $5,000 to $6,000 plus on it to make it look like that if it's gonna constantly break down and I can't trust it on a road trip. Hey everybody, Zoom 360 here on the go, and today we're not on the go, but I thought that I would vlog this because it kind of has to do with the channel and what's going to be happening, and because this is a travel, mainly road trip channel, so this issue kind of affects it. So yeah, so let's talk. So hopefully traffic is not bad, because in El Paso between the hours of 7 and 9 traffic is just horrible. But hopefully this is not the case. So let me lock this, lock that. All right, so an interesting turn of events has taken place. Not sure if I'm using that right, but so if you guys remember, about March of 2021, as I was moving to El Paso, driving from Colorado Springs to El Paso with Garfield. Good morning, Garfield. When I was driving Lucille, my 2015 Veloster, when I got close to Las Cruces, the engine went completely nuts. The check engine light was on, flashing, which means that it's bad. And then the engine was hesitating, so it turns out that the engine was misfiring on all 4 cylinders. So Hyundai had to replace basically the entire engine, and supposedly they've had this issue because they've had recalls on other models, but my car was the first one to have the same problem. So the new engine I've had on there now for about 30,000 miles, and a couple of weeks ago I kind of noticed that the engine was Garfield. So I noticed that the engine was misfiring while that the engine was at idle, but it's a very small misfire, right? So yesterday, while driving from work, all hell broke loose. The same thing is happening. So I took the liberty of running a diagnostic on it last night, and I was right. All 4 cylinders are misfiring again. She is parked over here, so I've called the dealer. We have to take her in at 8. It's about 7:15 now, and it doesn't look like we have bad traffic. So it is ready to go in. I just have to transfer some things over, and yeah. So the problem with that is, right, that I'm getting ready to customize this car to make it look like the IS, so that the IS could go away to get its engine. So now we have to deal with that. So the issue is, if these cars have engine issues, I'm not gonna spend $5,000 to $6,000 plus on it to make it look like that if it's gonna constantly break down and I can't trust it on a road trip. So this is what that we're getting ready to find out. Take off my brake key right here. Oh God. Woo. Put change. Won't be needing that. Oh, we do need the key. We do need the key though. Come out, come out. Okay. Think that we could lock this. So guys, this is just to show you. So those of you who've seen that video, and if you haven't, go back and see it. So foot on brake, and by the way, I think my clutch is gonna be soon to change out. Yep, I think it's gonna be time for me to change the clutch as well, because the pedal feels funny. And as you can tell, you see the check engine light is blinking and the car doesn't sound
creepy shit.
It doesn't sound right at all, and I think my clutch is about to be out, so that's another thing I'm gonna have to bring the car in for. But what's gonna happen is that this visit at the dealership is going to determine, do I keep this car? And the problem with that is there's only one car that I'm in the mood of buying, which I'm not quite ready yet to buy, not until the end of the year. But if I get a new car that is not that car, it's gonna stall that car's purchase for like a year. So instead of buying the car I really want to buy this year, I'm gonna have to buy it next year. But if you can see, the engine is shaking a little bit. It doesn't, you know, it shouldn't be. I'm not sure if the camera can actually capture it, but it's actually shaking. So our engine is misfiring again. It is the exact same problem. So we're gonna crawl. Yeah, so sometimes the engine light would be steady, but then again sometimes it would blink. So when it's blinking, it is not a good thing when it's blinking. So we're gonna figure this out. I can't use the heater. It's a kind of a cold morning, but I can't use the heater because Lucille does not like that right now, because the engine vibrates way more, you know, because you have to turn on, I guess, the fan, or I don't know, stuff like that. But yeah, so let's bring her in, and if they can fix it, as in I hope that it's the coils. I hope it's the coils or the spark plugs. It could be the air intake. I doubt it's the air intake, but it could also be fuel injectors, because last time the entire engine had to be overhauled, and with this practically new engine that's in the car, has only been there for about 30,000, because when they did this job it was at 113,000. Now it's at 141,000. So so the practically new engine, because I don't think they changed out the block, but they've changed about everything else. So, which was a $10,000 job. So I don't know. So if the same thing has to happen again, I'm gonna get rid of this car. I mean, I love the Veloster Turbo. That's why I bought it. I thought it looks very edgy. It looks very different with its 3-door setup with a hatch. And I don't like the new ones, because I think that Hyundai kind of went safe on the design. But I like the first gen. I like this car, and I wanted to do something really special with this car, and I hope that this is something minor that can be fixed. It won't require an entire reassembly of the engine, because if that's the case, this car will show me that, Lucille will show me that she's incapable of being trustworthy on a road trip. I mean, we have a 2JZ in here which needs a rebuild, but it struggles to start, but that's about it. I mean, and I've put 383,000 miles on this car. So with that amount of miles, I can't complain that the engine needs a rebuild. But this new engine that's in here has been in here for like 30,000 miles, and that's no excuse. So let's go. We are we need to be there at 8, and I think I need a new clutch because my clutch pedal is acting funny. But which makes sense, okay, because that is because it's at 141,000. It makes sense, but the engine does not make sense. So let's find out. So far it doesn't, as long as I drive it smoothly, there's not a whole lot of hesitation. So I think it's misfiring, but it's not misfiring as bad as it did the first time, because driving it the first time, this car was like hesitating. There was a lot of power interruptions, but it's not that bad as long as I drive it smoothly. And it seems to help when I leave it a gear, I guess, higher. Like if the car should be on 4th but I stay on 3rd, it doesn't do it as much. So I'm gonna try to compensate for that. But I think we should be able to make it on there, and I definitely think that it's gonna be time for a new clutch because my clutch pedal is getting hard. I think another month or so is gonna be time to replace it, but all those are gonna delay the process of customizing this car. But it is what it is, man. I hate bringing my car to Hyundai of El Paso because I didn't have this problem with Hyundai of Colorado Springs, but then again, she wasn't gonna stop, I guess. Jeez, man, these El Paso drivers. The thing I don't like about Hyundai of El Paso is they are constantly backed up, right? They're constantly backed up with cars, and their maintenance bays are not as large as let's say like Lexus. I think the guy once told me that they only have a bay that could hold 5 cars at a time. 5 cars. And there are a lot of Hyundais here in El Paso, but they have a bay that could hold 5 cars, while Lexus of El Paso has a huge bay, and I didn't count, but they have way more than 5 slots. So the problem is when you bring your car in, especially if it's something major, which this is that you're gonna lose your car for like maybe 5 days or so. So I'm gonna try to see if they can speed it up, because the problem is, so today's my first day off of 4 days, and it is Friday. I don't go back to work until Tuesday because I get Friday, the weekend, and Monday off. So hopefully that they can at least tell me what's wrong with it by late this afternoon or tomorrow morning, and then so I can choose. So it's gonna be a big decision tomorrow whether or not we're gonna need to get another car, which is not gonna be the car I want, because it's just, I mean, I'm not ready to buy that car just yet, and also it's not a car that I plan to daily drive like that. It's gonna be specifically for the channel. So and that was the next car that I wanted to get. I did not want to buy another car, like a regular car, because the next car is not I mean, it's not what I would call a regular car. So decisions. We're gonna find out is Lucille, my beloved Veloster, is gonna go away, because I actually love this car. That's why I bought it. I like it. I still do. I remember the first time I saw it, I was driving on the highway, and then this black one came in, And I was like, what is that? And then that's when I found out what it was. I was like, I want one of these things. The time just, you know, came to get a second car because I couldn't keep on dailying the IS300. And I was like, Veloster time. But yeah, we definitely gonna need to address the this car's clutch pedal. That's coming. So hopefully, I hope that it's just a coilover and spark plug issue or an air filter issue, because those are the cheapest things to get fixed. If it's a fuel injector issue, yeah, that could be proven kind of tricky. Sorry for the camera, guys, because Lucille is a manual. Let me let crazy. Look at that. Look at that. These people. The car in front got on the road, but didn't even try to accelerate. I mean, they are taking their sweet time. This is one of the things that the drivers do here. I just don't understand. If you're going from a street that is 25 miles an hour to a street that is 65 miles an hour, you come in and you don't even match the speed. It's like they just take their sweet time. And she doesn't like 6 speed. I have to put it on 5th. She does not like 6 speed. So it's all right. And I'm gonna have to bring the car again on another time I have off, because for the clutch, which leaves me with the IS300 today, and she's already mad at me. So it's gonna be an interesting day today. And we are here at Hyundai. We're a little bit early. I think we're 13 minutes early, so I don't think that's a bad thing. But all right, guys, so I'm gonna go and deal with this, and then we'll go from there. And yeah. Leave it open? Guess we'll leave it open. I don't know. Oh. This is a place that I would rather not be this morning, but you know, life, right? So just as I thought, it's gonna take about 1 to 1.5 days to get, like, you know, some kind of a diagnostic on it. So they'll let me know. Hopefully that this car doesn't need a new engine, because if it does, that means I cannot continue with the Hyundai brand. I'm gonna have to get rid of this car and get something else, which is not the car I really want, but you know, sometimes in life, right?
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look.
So this is my Uber. Very cool, guys. So yeah, so Lucille is once again at Hyundai for the same problem, misfiring problem. So we are going to stand by and see what that they're gonna say about the car, and I hope that this is something that they can fix. I hope it will not require a quote-unquote new engine, because if it does, that means that I cannot trust the Veloster to take road trips with, because it could break down at any point in time. And I'm not going through this engine thing twice, because last time it took 6 months for them to give me back my car. So yeah. So I'm gonna stop the vlog right here for now, and then I should be getting a call late afternoon or tomorrow morning about what though we know what the issue already is, but for them to tell me how long it's gonna take to get fixed. And it's gonna be interesting. So until then, I guess, and just like that, we are back. It's been now several days. So Lucille, my beloved 2015 Hyundai Veloster Turbo, was supposed to be done on Tuesday, but it's now Saturday. I just spoke with the service folks at Hyundai of El Paso, and so they fixed the engine. So the good news is I still get to keep my Veloster, because if the same thing that happened last time where the entire engine had to go, that would tell me that the Hyundai Veloster Turbo is simply not reliable, and it can't be a Zoom car, because you know what we do here, cars and adventure through road trips. So we do a lot of road trips on this channel, and I need the best reliable cars that I can have to do them in. So it turns out that not all 4 cylinders were misfiring. It was just one of them. So they've ordered the coil, because at first they thought they had it in stock, but they didn't. I would think they would have something like that in stock, but they special ordered it. It came back. That problem is solved. But I did tell them to check my clutch system, just because that the clutch pedal felt funny, though I was able to still shift gears. I definitely knew that something within the clutching system was wrong, and it turns out that my hydraulic hose was leaking, so air was getting into the system. So they caught that in time, so they're going to order the part and replace it. Yes, there was something else that they found, a leaking radiator hose, the one that goes on top. So that's going to be replaced as well. So I told them to go ahead and keep the car for another week so that they can fix that, because I'd rather pay about $1,000 than pay $4,000 or $5,000 should these things rupture and cause more damage while I'm driving. So it sucks, because Suki is not doing so well, my beloved 2001 IS300, because she needs a new engine. So the current engine is still doing good. It's just that it's starting to lose some compression, which causes it harder to start. But we survived 1 week of cranking it and driving back and forth to work and stuff. So hopefully this video is a little bit different from the usual videos I post on here, because again, this is a travel channel mainly through road trips and cars. So basically, if I had to sum up this channel, it's a cars and adventure channel. So this video is a little bit out of sync, I guess. It's very different for the channel, but I think I'm gonna start to incorporate these types of videos more, because I mean, when you go on a road trip and you come back, I mean, there's lots of maintenance that goes on behind the scene that I chose to omit, that though I've shared quite a bit of it on Instagram. And if you're not following Zoom360 on Instagram, you need to do that, at Zoom360 on the go. So I'm gonna start to film more what happens in between road trips and stuff like that. What I usually check before, during, and after every road trip. There's lots of maintenance that goes around that you guys don't get to see. So I'm gonna start to show that more. So in the last few seasons, actually since we've started, I've barely talked about that. I usually keep all the shenanigans that happens behind the scenes, taking them to the garage, fixing stuff on them myself, sending them to garages and getting stuff fixed. So I'm going to share that more with you guys. So next road trip is coming really soon, sooner than you think. I think most likely the next vlog is going to be that, unless something comes up tonight or something like that. So yeah, so this is Zoom360, inviting you to get up, get out, and do it. Like, subscribe, and share. And I'm out.